Hi, folks. We have spent the last couple weeks looking at problems and doing some basic root cause analysis. Now, the assumption is we understand the problem. What do we do to do a deeper needs analysis to figure out what kinds of learning interventions we need to create? So, as we contextualize this, we have our problem, we've identified the root cause. This assumes then we're going to take that problem and convert it in our minds, in our design methodology, as an overall overarching topic. That topic is made up of a whole bunch of different complex skills. Again, I'll urge you to refer to some of the videos from Miriam to understand more completely what complex skills are. Each of those complex skills in of themselves are made up of a set of tasks or more basic skills. For example, if we take our overall topic and we say that it's general management skills, one of many complex skills would be performance management. And a simple task or a basic skill within that performance management might be feedback delivery. So if we break this down, we have different knowledge, different skills, different abilities, different attitudes, and other external factors that all align to that basic skill, as well as our complex skills. So for example, for knowledge, there might be a set of policies or procedures, different theories or models, goals, expectations associated with feedback delivery or performance management. From a skills standpoint, there's how you apply those policies, procedures, models, etc., the different behaviors and expertise and mastery over time of those methodologies. From an ability standpoint, there's the different innate talents that one has for giving feedback or delivering it, as well as all the other different skills and tasks associated with performance management. And of course, there's a mindset and a value set around doing so as well. External factors include performance support, managerial support, different coaches or mentors that one might be able to leverage to get better or be more effective on the job aids, different applications, and so forth. So if we look at this from a hierarchical standpoint, we take management as our top level. I've already given you performance management as a sample complex skill, but it might also include resource allocation, scheduling, creating a more motivating environment. Then each of those, as I said, break down into tier 2 level tasks or more simple tasks. So again, performance management, we've already talked about feedback delivery, but you might also include goal setting, career conversations, performance analysis, and so forth. So here is just a better set of definitions for what we do once we identify whether there's a knowledge, skill, ability, attitudinal, or external support gap. For more information on what these things are, check out the next video and the next blink, and that'll go into more depth on what each of these are specifically. But from an interventionist perspective, for knowledge, if we have a knowledge gap, use text, use video. This is content dissemination. You can actually test and evaluate comprehension through different activities like simulations, or I urge you to refer to Patty Shank's work on multiple choice testing and so forth. For skills, we need to make sure that we use different activities, demonstrations, worked examples to both model the skill and then enable the team member, the participant, to practice and get feedback through different opportunities, both on the job, and you can use both low and high fidelity simulations to do this as well. And of course, this is integrated quite extensively with knowledge. So knowledge and skill have quite a bit of crossover. From an ability standpoint, frankly, we can teach affiliated skills that influence an ability, but Bottom line is, if there's an ability gap, you either have to redefine the role, reallocate the person to some other role, or find mitigations to alleviate any of the gaps associated with that ability gap. Attitudinally, you can have different coaching, discussions, facilitate group discourse, and of course, if it's truly severe, and I'm not joking, you can apply therapy. Well, get therapy. Don't you do it yourself. Get actual professional support for the person. And from an external support, you need to provide the support, whether it's making sure that there's budget, equipment, tools, and so forth. So these are the different interventions that we use when we find a gap around knowledge, skills, abilities, attitudes, or external support. From a feedback delivery standpoint, so to just pull the string on our example, basic knowledge might be the feedback process, or these days we've been teaching a lot feed forward, so the process for doing that. Also, what are the policies the company, the organization may have toward general employee development, and how does feedback fit into that overarching methodology? So understanding the parameters, the expectations, the goals around feedback delivery all fit in the knowledge gap or knowledge box as defined here. From a skills standpoint, it's the application of those feedback and feed-forward processes. And maybe it's the ability or the competency to determine when to deliver feedback or feed forward and when not to do so, and so forth. How to evaluate whether feedback is good is a skill. From an ability standpoint, one ability might be empathy. You tend not to really want a sociopath delivering feedback, especially if it's harsh feedback or uncomfortable feedback. And yes, I do jest, but empathy would be an ability. So a talent, something that's hard for people to get much better at. Attitudinally, it might be a desire or value to support one another or to avoid patronizing or paternalistic or contemptuous views toward the team member. So these are different attitudes we'd look for to either develop or support in the environment. So overall, these are the different types of ways to think about the hierarchy, from going at the high topical level of management to a complex skill set of performance management, for example, or resource allocation or other complex skills, to the simple skills within each of those respective domains. Hope this helps. Thanks.